Tangapahoa. St. Tammany. This says that Hammond is in Tangapahoa. It's next to St. Tammany and Washington, and it's west of St. Tammany and Washington, looks like. Tangipahoa. Tangipahoa? Tangipahoa. Pahoa? Tangipahoa. All right, Tangipahoa. That's okay. There you go. Yay! Thank you. There's like so many strange Cajun stuff down there. You know what I'm saying? I heard that Akko something. Okay. So currently there's nothing in the court for her. There's also currently no arrests or anything for Kent Erker, just in case you're wondering. Or Gypsy in Lafourche. But so if she was arrested late on Friday, Lafourche doesn't have any arrests for, I don't know. Bree was arrested. Bree was arrested. Hold on.
There might have been other reasons. I don't know.
No, it's not. It was, she had somebody else's tags on her. She had somebody else's plate on her car. So she was using someone else's license plate on her car because her car wasn't registered.
That's crazy. I wonder if it's because her sticker was dead or something. And what's funny, my sticker's dead on the back of my car. And that is like such a small ticket compared to what you get if you switch license plates.
She didn't have updated tags. And so the charges said, hold on. It says switched plates. MSD.
And tail lamps were out.
Yeah. That's when I got arrested years and years and years ago. Was my license plate light was burnt out. What is this?
Yeah. Actually, it was different plates. It didn't either from a different car of hers or somebody else's plates. Yeah, she did say it was super traumatic, and said that we're all obsessed. But in my video, I commented a little bit, but she's literally the one obsessed with her. That's what I was thinking, Ashley.
So she was using improper, switched, fictitious, or improper license plates. That's what it means. So it's either operating vehicle without properly attached and displayed number plates assigned for the current year, displaying or possessing a fictitious, canceled, revoked, suspended, or altered registration, lending a number plate to someone not entitled to use it, or using an improper registration license plate, or using license plate issued for one vehicle on a different vehicle. And because it's switched plates, that's what I'm saying. She was probably using plates from another car and putting them on her car.
And let me just add again, since there's new people in here, addicts don't leave behind their stuff. It doesn't happen.
No. Oh, Ashley.
Yeah, that's Ashley.
Come up, baby. Come up. Come up. Come up, Ashley.
Ashley, did you see her video?
Get up here, Ashley. No one leaves a year's supply of those. Ashley, come up. Ashley, get your ass up. I keep trying to invite her. Oh, there, I invited you. I sent you an invite. I laughed so hard at Ashley's videos.
She's hilarious. The dog collar thing
Yes.
really got me.
That when she always goes, but that one did that right there. And she taps her phone. That's not alleged. She did that right there. I love Ashley. She's so funny. My son's always yelling at me because she swears all the time, though. He's like, hey, she's saying a bad word. We need shirts that say that. She did that right there. That's not alleged. I don't, how much does that cost on the street?
I Googled it. It was like $150 to $300. So it was a good amount.
That's cheap.
Is it? I thought that was a lot.
Well, I don't know what it costs anymore, but that seems cheap for that much.
Yeah.
$20 for, okay, Ashley, come up.
That's just what Google says, Ashley.
Come up and share your information. Ashley, we want you. Oh my God. I was spending the day watching old videos first. And I was going through their files earlier. That in the weeks, like the supplemental reports or whatever. And I found, oh, she has bad internet right now. I found these like supplemental reports. And it was one I hadn't seen before. And it was it's whoever she was. Mins, I can come up. You can come up.
Oh, she said, at the least you're paying $50 a G. I'm taking my kid's girlfriend home, warm my car up, and watching. If you're on in 30 minutes, I can come up.
Okay, perfect. Remember those girls that like snitched on her, like in prison when she was still in county?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which girl this is, but it was. Gypsy told her she was angry with her mom because of the way she was treated over the years by her mother and having to pretend she was not able to walk. Pretend.
That's what she told Nick.
Right. So I think a lot of people that come into this case, they want to like exonerate Dee Dee, right? And so the thing I always say with this case is like, just because they committed fraud, that doesn't mean that like it justified the way she died. So it's kind of like it's a red herring almost. Like her fraud doesn't mean that what happened to her was justified. It doesn't. So yes, they were faking things because they were getting free stuff, and Gypsy knew she was. That was her testimony at the trial, right? So the testimony was, we were doing this to get charity, to get free trips, to go to Disney, to get free stuff from people, to fundraise off of, to get disability, that kind of stuff.
So do you believe what she told Nick about lying all those years?
No. Because Dee Dee knew. There was some stuff Dee Dee absolutely knew. Like, here's the thing. She had legitimate illnesses, but when she got older, a lot of the stuff they were doing in Missouri was literally just fraud. It was just to get free stuff. That was it. So,
Yeah.
like, she didn't need a wheelchair. They used the wheelchair because they knew that they would get more sympathy and more money from people. That was Gypsy's testimony at trial.
She knew all along, though, even
Yes.
from being younger.
Yes. Like, Gypsy knew it was fake. And that's why Marcia when talking to the police, said that as long as she had known them, they had blackouts on their windows, and the windows were never open.
Who said that?
Marcia, one of Dee Dee's friends.
And how long did she knew her for a while?
The whole time they lived in Missouri. She was the nurse that helped Gypsy when they first got there from Louisiana.
Well, why is there videos of Gypsy and you see the windows and it's like a month or two before and they're not blacked out?
Most of them are. Like, literally, Marcia said they're always blacked out. And they did that. They did that because Gypsy walked around in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that. And Ken even said that once.
Yeah. And if you see the photos of like the crime scene, that house was so cluttered, there would have been no place for a wheelchair to move around.
I think things got bad at the end, like that last 6 months to a year.
There were times that the windows weren't tinted, but for the most part, the windows were shut. And Marcia said that they had drapes and blinds, and they were always shut. Like, maybe sometimes they opened the windows, but there were actually windows that had film over them. You can see that in the crime scene photos. Right, no marks on the floor either. So she was obviously running around. That's why she's making those videos, and her mom's obviously home when that's happening. So, but she told her, to the same friend, this is what she said. Gypsy and Nicholas were communicating over the computer. Gypsy asked Nicholas if he loved her enough to unalive someone. Nicholas told her he did love her, and he asked her who she wanted him to unalive. She said, my mother. And then the inmate said Gypsy told her that the unaliving was her idea, that she planned it, and Nicholas was just the enforcer. She stated Gypsy told her she planned the unaliving because she did not want to be around her mother anymore. She said Gypsy told her she wanted her mother out of the picture, and if Nicholas would unalive her mother, then it would be easier than going to the authorities.
That makes no sense.
It does make sense because they were both running the fraud together.
Well, I was going to ask, were they being investigated at that time as well?
There's police reports of people reporting them thinking they're committing fraud as early as 2009.
Yeah, so I always wondered if, if it was because Gypsy knew that they eventually was going to be caught.
So if you have, my theory is always, if you have two people committing a crime together and one of them's dead, right?
And then she blames her.
Yeah. And so then her mom's dead and she can blame her mom for everything. Now, it's not to say that, like, Gypsy being raised to do that fraud is horrible, but she didn't have to unalive her mom, right? She could have just left and faced the consequences and blamed her mom and said, my mom made me do this. She started this when I was a kid, and turned her mom in. Right?
Yep, she absolutely could have turned her in.
But she didn't want to, because she didn't want to lose friends. She didn't want her reputation to be ruined. She didn't want people to know that she had lied and she was a fraud. Because then she would have to admit that she was,
I agree.
So that's, yeah. She wanted her mom out of the picture.
And that's sad because she was good to her.
Yeah, maybe.
Gypsy even said that she didn't physically hurt her.
No. I mean, controlling, yes. But towards, I mean, another reason why Gypsy had a lot more freedom then is because Dee Dee was, like, always, like, not feeling good.
Where the heck was she during all them videos? Like, she was never there.
She's probably laying down.
You'd think she'd hear her.
Yeah.
I mean, she was nude in the bed in that one video in Dee Dee's bed.
Yeah. Who knows where Dee Dee would have been.
Gypsy always acted like she never left her side.
I know.
But
well, those videos make clear that that's not true. But part of the reason they had to exchange the videos was because they couldn't talk on the phone, right? Like, or do FaceTimes. I was listening to Gypsy talking about her book today, and I almost lost my mind listening to her.
An old live or something?
Yeah, she was talking about her book.
Did the new version ever come out?
I don't know.
She said there was a newer one with the lies out of there, which is ridiculous because there's emails proving that she looked over that over and over again.
She told me she had a book publisher, she had a literary agent, she had Melissa Mashasharni Michelle, and then Melissa and her. 5 people working on that book. And the book, she claims that she's a New York Times bestseller. Only the audio version hit the obscure audio list for 2025. But the hard copy book never made the list, ever. And
I mean, who is she up against, though? Like, how does that work?
It just has to do with the number of downloads.
Oh. Well, I downloaded it, but I got a free trial. And then I shared it with, like, 80,000 people that hated her. So they wouldn't have to download it.
The bond was $2,500 for the math.
Yeah,
I don't know. Bree couldn't afford like her. What do you call it? She couldn't afford her water bill one month.
They could have let her out on a PR.
No, she had bond.
Would it say PR on there if she...
No, it doesn't say how she's bonded out. She's just not in custody.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not a mugshot, but I looked at the whatever that town is Facebook page, and none of the people that had been arrested had a mugshot.
Yeah, some states don't release mugshots right away anymore because they get posted online. I don't know. So Bree's news story apparently is that it wasn't hers. Someone left it in her car. She'll never say what happened. And a lot of people borrow her car. Is that the same story we're going with? Bree does not have a criminal background. Her husband does, though. Her husband's a felon.
More than likely, if she's convicted of this, they'll offer parole. It'll be strict parole, more than likely. I mean, sorry, probation, not parole.
Yeah. It kind of just depends. She's claiming it's someone else's purse? Like it was in someone else's purse?
Yeah, I didn't hear that. Is there a new video out, Stone?
Why would someone have a purse in their car? So did they find Bree's, I'm not going to go to her story. I'm on live. Someone's purse that they left in her car.
So she made another story. Okay.
So someone else's purse in her car. I'm sure if it was someone else's purse, they could have easily looked in to see whose idea was in the purse, right?
Mm-hmm. And who leaves a whole purse behind?
Nobody leaves a whole purse behind. And they're not going to search a purse that doesn't belong to her.
Yeah, we knew this was going to happen. Like, other people were talking about, oh, she's just going to get on here and blame someone else. Like, that's the typical thing someone to do.
They always blame other people. I've never known someone that's on it to admit it, like that they were caught with it. There's always a lie.
She did say she would never tell who it is or talk about it. And now she's already saying it's a purse, so that means it's a girl. Like, more hints of who.
Are you trying to say it was your friend Gypsy? Is that why Gypsy cut her hair?
Mm-hmm. And when I looked at the arrests on the Facebook, or not Facebook, but the website, it listed the people that had got arrested that day. And I looked to see if anybody else was related to her. And it was just her. Nobody else got arrested.
No. Yeah, Gypsy wasn't arrested and Ken wasn't arrested. Like,
I was even thinking maybe her husband was with her, but no. It was nobody else on that website. There's like 3 websites. You can look up the parish on Facebook. And I don't remember.
if you go to Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, they haven't posted anything since the 25th.
Just at search on Facebook, go to the search bar and type in Lafourche Parish arrests and type in Bree. Just do Bree and it should pop up.
Lafourche Parish recently booked.
There's one, yeah.
Brianna Heinz, arrest the 27th.
And one of the websites, if you search for her, you have to type in the date, the 27th. You got to click that date or it won't pop up.
Yes. If you go to the actual like county website, like, and you look at the inmates, she was already booked out. So you have to like look for yesterday and look up the 27th and she'll find you.
I found it on 3 different websites.
But that the picture in my box is directly from the website for the county. Or I'm sorry, for the parish.
You'd think if she knew this was going to happen or get out, she would have gotten on it before we did.
I know. I'm just surprised that, like, I was just listening to them joking on a live that, like, she's like, ha, every week they say I'm arrested. Every week they say that I'm arrested. Every week they say that I'm arrested. And I'm like, well, because you are.
I just think it's karma for believing
You guys,
a murderer.
The picture that's in my box, that's from Louisiana's Lafourche Parish Public Safety. That's directly from the parish's site. That's the charges, the date of her arrest. That's directly from there. I'm just not showing her last name, even though you guys know it.
Yeah, I didn't want to post that on TikTok either.
But I don't think she's had any, like, arrests for it before. Not that I know of.
All of her arrests should have popped up, shouldn't have they?
No, because she's not from Lafourche. She's from, I think she's from, like, St. Bernard or St. something.
Oh, yeah. I actually did a background check on back when Morbid was always live. And I was curious about some people, and I looked up Ken, Bree, Gypsy. Well, anyways, I have Bree's charges that she's ever had listed somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know if it's still on my phone or not, but
She had like a disorderly like conduct or like a, I don't know, it was like a domestic or an aggravated assault or something, and she claims it was a fight with an ex-boyfriend and like the charges got dropped, and that's about all I know.
yeah, she's never had anything serious.
No. Her husband's a felon. Her husband stole from his employer. Like, and she, of course, said that that was not true. And then he took a plea deal.
They're asking what kind of time could she get. I think they say up to 5 years, maybe.
It's up to 2 years.
Okay, more than likely.
It could be workhouse. So, like, she works
community service.
Well, kind of. It's like workhouse where you're like work during the day and then in jail overnight. But she could get no time. She could get community service. I would say it's a felony, though.
Yeah, probation. They also, I don't know if they have the option there, but sometimes they offer weekends in jail as well.
Yeah, I don't really know how Louisiana works with first-time offenders.
Normally, well, I would assume it'd be probation. But they'd be on like a tight, frequent drug tests.
On a felony, though?
Oh, yeah. Well, here there's a thing called day report, and it's probation, but they have to report like once a week, do a drug test. It's a year-long program. If they fail a drug test, they put them back in jail. They give them a couple chances, but if they mess up like 3 times, sometimes, they have to ride out their sentence in prison. But I don't know if they have a program like day report, but it's the same thing. It's just probation. Because it was a lot.
It says a conviction's a felony. It's larger amounts have mandatory minimum sentences. Sometimes there's reduced penalties for first-time offenders, but there's still potential risks.
It's a felony because of the amount.
Yes.
It wasn't just a little tiny bit. Google says it's like $150 to $300, and Ashley said it was like $50 per G, so I don't know. Add that up. That's a lot.
It's like 2 ounces. Okay, what's the average sentence for, hold on, let me say 2.
Yeah, that's possible, Angel. But more than likely she's going to do what she's doing with us and blame someone else.
Let me see what it says. So it was under 2 ounces. Less than 28 grams.
That's a specific number, though.
It's under 1 ounce. It's up to 2 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. For possession of 2 grams or more, but less than 28 grams. It's up to 2 years.
No, we don't know the exact amount. It's not going to list that.
It's the lowest charge they have for possession. So if you're found to have more than 28 grams, then it's 5 to 30 years in prison.
It is wild the amount of years an addict or a drug person can get, and the fact that she only did 8 years for such a terrible crime.
I know. But, Mimi wanted to come up.
What up, what up? Hey, guys.
Your bestie.
I've been relishing in this for the past few hours.
How are you feeling?
So excited right now.
Are you?
This is lovely karma catching up.
Yeah.
I was literally shaking when I seen it on Reddit and had to come over and share.
Y'all know it's your fault though, right? You guys know you did this. It's all your fault.
It's for sure. It's my fault. I'm sure it's Dee Dee's fault too.
Yeah, everyone in the comments, all 169 of you guys did this. Bree didn't do this. You guys did this.
Right.
Did you see that video that she posted?
No, she said it was like somebody else's, right?
She's blaming it on, she said it was someone else's. It was a purse that was left in her car. And she's blaming it on one of her family members, saying that that's why she never has her car is because she's constantly lending it out. So now she's blaming it on one of her family members, and she doesn't lend her car out. Her car is constantly not working. So how is she lending it out?
Yeah, I'm wondering, how is she lending her car out when it has expired tags? It's not registered in the wrong license plate. Like, really, Bree, why are you driving a car that has somebody else's license plate on it and it's not registered? Is that your family's fault too?
And at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
And you really mean to tell me that your family member is leaving their purse in your car?
Not with that much. I am in recovery. I was an active user, and ain't no day, ain't no way, ain't no how I would leave that much stash behind anywhere.
Well, because if you're using that, you would go through withdrawal.
You need that to maintain. You don't just leave that behind.
And that's not a small amount.
That's trafficking amount. They're definitely going to get her for trafficking. I think they said, what, up to 5 years max, but she won't get that.
She's only charged with possession right now.
Oh, okay.
It sounds to me she was going to someone's house maybe for a while. A couple days maybe.
Yeah.
We all know that Gypsy's not going to come out and try to defend her friend. She's not going to have Bree's back whatsoever. She's not going to comment at all.
No. Yeah, I'll send some loves to the peoples. Tap, tap, tap. No, she won't.
I wonder if she will distance herself from her now.
I don't know. You would have thought that, like, she would have when I told her that her husband was a felon, but that did not stop her.
Well, she was
Myself and
contacting
Naomi are going to be requesting the FOIAs. We're going to pay for it, and we're going to request them for the body cam footage of her arrest and the report.
Well, right now I'm in the court right now, and they haven't put charges in yet. So there's no active court case yet. She's just been arrested. But
it'll probably take till tomorrow for it to come, right?
But she was driving with switched plates using someone else's license plate on her car.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're driving with someone else's license plate, Bree, right? And your car isn't registered. So you're not only just, your car's illegal, then you're also using someone else's plates. The tail lamp for your lights was burnt out, right? So they probably pulled you over thinking that you were driving a stolen car.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
and that would give them cause to
That would
search
give them
as well.
cause to search.
Well, even at that, you got to think of it this way. It didn't have insurance on it. It had the switch plates. It was going to get towed regardless. And in order for them to tow it, they would have had to search it to inventory it.
That's true.
No matter how she looked at it, that car was getting searched.
Security required wasn't insurance. It's she didn't. The charge she was charged with is
That means like no insurance is what Naomi looked up.
no. It's not being registered.
That could be.
That's what security is. So security is that they have to be registered with the state. So or you have to have no insurance. Wait, every self-propelled motor vehicle seasons are not those.
Yeah, from what we saw, it said no insurance. But if she didn't have insurance, if she had different plates, she probably didn't have the registration either. I mean, that's not a far-fetched thing.
Or insurance. You may have said that.
Yeah, I said registration and insurance. It could have been both.
Security.
Sorry, I'm reading and listening at the same time.
Oh, she didn't have insurance, like bonds or cash or liability to cover potential damages. So she didn't have insurance. She didn't have,
That's
and then
what
she was
we're thinking.
yeah. So she didn't have insurance. Her car is using someone else's license plates, and the tail lamps are out. So she could have been I mean, for God's sake, she could have been driving a stolen car.
Not not only interrupting herself, but she's always angry.
Always.
And that's also a sign as well, because it can cause so many mood swings. I just don't believe it was a friend at all. So
Say that story is true. She's still going to get charged with it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that
matter
it
if
was
it's
somebody
hers or-
else's. It was in her possession.
yep, that's how it is everywhere.
That's why if she says, give me a drug test, it doesn't matter.
They never drug tested her at the police station. That never happened in the history of ever. And it would not happen for Bree.
Because she's not being charged with under the influence.
Exactly. They're not going out of their way and just giving out resources like that without a reason or without being court ordered to. They're not going to do it just because Bree said so.
And that stuff is out of your system so fast anyway. I think it's like out of your system within 24 hours. But I was listening to a live with Bree and her and Gypsy talking about the book, and Bree was like rambling nonstop, and I was like, what is with her? I was like, she sounds like she's on something.
We always knew she was on something with the sniffling, and she would be live all night long until early the next morning. Like we all knew.
I said this last summer, I went to bed one night. She had gone live that night at 6 p.m. When I woke up, it was like 10 in the morning and she was still live.
Katie, I've caught them doing that so many times. Like that is not just a one and done thing. That's happened many times.
Yeah. And then she would get up at like 6 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
And someone said, wouldn't she
I
be
figured
skinny?
it was like the other kind of sniffing upper. I didn't think it was math. So
Someone said, wouldn't she be skinny? No, you cannot be skinny, because sometimes when you become a long time user, you can eat on it, or when you're off it, you'll just binge.
exactly. Yeah. So when she
I know,
comes down
I've
and
known
stuff,
a
she
lot
probably
of-
binge eats.
I've known a lot of overweight people that are users.
Majority of the time they are skinny, but there are instances, and more than not, that they are overweight.
Sunflower, you could lie about your weight out of
Her
jail.
booking weight is going off of what she put on her
License, right?
license.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just go off what's on your license.
they don't weigh you. You don't get to jail.
You absolutely can lie on your license too.
Yeah, nobody's at the DMV like putting a scale out.
Right, and who knows? Her license could be 4 years old, and I think she was like, she does have her moments where she does get down to probably like 185, 190, but I think she's not that little anymore. We've seen her recently.
Yeah, not too long ago, before Gypsy, she wasn't big.
Yeah, but it looked like she was putting weight on again recently.
I know. I never cared what she looked like. Then she got all sensitive because people found pictures of her and then they said they were fat shaming her. And I'm like, I've never cared what she looks like. Like, I just always said she was weird from the day one. She became like a stage 5 clinger the minute she made contact with them.
I just don't know how she can watch all these videos and read all that evidence and still believe her.
Well, I think after these charges, we now know why she's able to believe that.
You know what I'll tell you is that having been like friends with them, they're very, very good at like giving you talking points. And when I hear her, she's just using their same talking points over and over and over again. Like, the prosecutors gave her a plea deal, and this is why I got the plea deal. And they said it was this. But then in the midst of all of that, you know, I was just listening to a live today of Gypsy saying, well, it was actually just a theory. And we didn't really know why my teeth were rotted out. And Mike just decided it was from that. And we weren't really sure if it was Munchausen's, but it could have been. It was a theory.
Did you see that video that's pinned on my page? It talks about the different theories that they were trying to use as her defense.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was watching like a whole live. Someone on TikTok saved the whole live. I can't remember what her name is. Sol. It's like SALZ.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I saved it. Hold on, let me look.
Kelsey, they got to request the body cams.
Yeah, and we might have to wait till she goes to court for it to be released. It depends on what they decide. So, but this is a charge. It won't take long to get through the court system either. But as soon as they're available, we will be getting them. I promise you.
Okay. Yeah, that's her name.
I'm going to see if this is what it was. Let me see.
And what this is what I believe at this point in time. Say it's 2017, and I'm being interviewed by Dr. Phil, and he asked me a question. I'm going to answer on what I believe to be true. Now, if I find out 3 years later, oh, this didn't go down like I believed, then I'm going to change and correct and say, okay, this is what happened. Even though I'm answering the same question, it'll be different because I've learned new information that made me correct it.
Imagine saying that about your own memory. Imagine saying that about your own memory.
She tried to tell me that Nick's appeal, that what they were saying in that appeal was only being said for Nick, that it wasn't true, and that they had to do the same thing for her. And I asked her, well, how do we know what the truth is? Like, she was trying so hard to make it seem like what was said in those documents was a lie.
No, in truth, like, if you grow up lying, right? Like, but the problem is that Gypsy knows she lies, because in those videos, she's literally like telling Nick that she told her mom she would stop lying.
She's a good liar, but she's not that good.
She said it, I know, we're talking about how it was a family member or a friend's. I know, I gotta go downstairs. My son's getting ready for bed, so I gotta get out of my office.
Nobody's on probation.
She's not on probation. I wonder if it's on my son's iPad. I think we share the same cloud. I think we share the same cloud. Yeah, she was in that live and she's like, if I get new information about my memories, like what? Like I have some memories where my mom is where I'm standing, and I have another memory where I'm not standing. When she's in Dr. Flasherstein's office,
Yeah.
and like, we don't know why my teeth crumbled. Your teeth didn't crumble. They were decayed in cavity, and like, she look at how much soda she drinks.
That is Bree's charges on the screen.
Oh, what happened to Mimi? She just dropped.
Yeah, she dropped a minute ago.
So it's a family member's, and it's not hers, and she'll never say whose it is.
But she's already mentioned a purse.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Is she still using Gypsy's TikTok?
I assume she is. She posted a video earlier for the baby.
That was a creepy, creepy video.
It was. And when I heard Gypsy's voice in the background, I was like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you can come up. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't know if that was an accident or not. Request again. It's iconic. She was talking about how, like, only the right people were around. Like, only the right people are around, like, Gypsy or Aurora, like, the good people.
The crazy people.
Yeah.
Hey, Katie.
Hi.
Hey, so I've been following you for I have an autistic son, and I know you have a son too that has some issues with health. I'm not really sure what your son has, but
He's autistic and has medical stuff, yeah.
But even before I had my son, and he's 6, I was following you. Like, I remember being pregnant and following you. Like, yeah. So it's really good to talk to you. I think when you really I started getting into the Gypsy case with all of this when you did. Well, I mean, you probably were following it longer, but doesn't it mean a little bit to you when you have a child that has something similar to the co-defendant?
Yeah.
I'm not saying for everyone, guys, I'm not saying this. I've been on many panels and I know y'all have seen me, but I'm not saying this for everyone, but a lot of people that connect to this case has a personal connection to it. And Katie Joy brought me to this is because when you have somebody so close to you, it kind of is, it's a personal meaning, and it's really disheartening with all the things that's going on. Not that I think that Nicholas Godejohn did anything right. I think he was manipulated to do something wrong, and he actually did commit what he did, and he is serving his time. He's serving his time, but Gypsy is not. She had a sweetheart deal. She absolutely had a sweetheart deal.
Yeah.
And that's, but at the same sense, guys, this is where I'm saying, she came out, she was on Life After Lockup. She said a lot of things that made even her biggest supporters question her. And then after her parole, it was so funny, even with her parole board, she was oh, this is something I have to live with for the rest of my life, dealing with my mother and all of the things that I caused. And then you hear her not even 3 weeks ago 3 or 4 weeks ago, tell everybody on TikTok, like, oh, I don't care if she goes to heaven or hell. Like, I don't care. She's a shit piece of mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't care. Like, y'all, she don't care. She doesn't care. She cares about her.
Okay, you're preaching
her.
to the choir. You're like preaching to the choir here, though.
Right. Like, a lot of people still are like, oh, like, okay, so Katie Joy, like, you are the best person to talk to. Like, mainstream media is the devil. Like, is the absolute devil.
Yeah, they just go with whatever's easy, for sure.
Like, even Perez says that. Like, even, that's what, like, people are like, oh, Perez doesn't have the best history. Well, neither do I, and neither does Katie Joy, and neither does half of America. But, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the thing is, like, you listen to the mainstream media, that's not, like, Dr. Phil even, like,
he's terrible.
Retracted. And he was like, okay, like, Kel Lowerly, is that her name?
Wait,
Lowerly?
when did Dr. Phil retract?
Oh, 2 days ago. Go look it up. He was like, oh, there's more, like, media coming out about Gypsy Rose that I have to look at. That's all he said. But I'm really looking forward to what he has to say.
So the problem with what people did is they didn't dig deep and they just took the narrative that was given to them.
Correct. Well, mainstream media, correct?
Well, it's not the mainstream media that put out that story. The story started with her getting the deal and what her defense team sold, right? And so
right.
That's the prosecutor. And then her defense team went on like a media blitz to like convince everyone that she was this thing and this was motivated by this thing, but it wasn't that.
So I'm so glad I'm talking to you because you are very invested in not just this case, but like a lot of different things. So like per se, like the Charlie Kirk case.
No, not talking about that right now.
Well, no, right. But like, you know, the person that's in question.
No. I'm not talking about that here. Not talking about it here.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about. Okay, let me rephrase that. So when things are okay. Katie Joy, hold on. Let me try to like do some. Okay, so when things are publicized so much, sometimes public defenders take it as an advantage to where, like, okay, Casey Anthony.
Okay, but see, my audience right now here is sorry. They're here to talk about what's going on with Bree. Like,
okay.
Sorry, like.
No, you're good. You're good. Like, I actually kind of want to know what's going on with Bree myself, but like with defenders of public cases, as you know as well, they kind of almost take the opportunity to publicize themselves as lawyers to one up themselves. So again,
for Gypsy, it was about monetizing, and that's always what it's been. From day one.
Monetization.
Yes, it's been how she can sell the story. I mean, there's an email or a letter she sent to her cousin while she was still in county saying, I'm baptized and everything's fine because I'm baptized and I'm washed of these sins. And, you know, I'm talking to Mike and Rod and Christy about how we can make money off this.
I'm sorry. I always like when I go on panel, like I always I engage with the chat, but like I've been following Katie Joy for a really long time, and this goes back to like Duggar cases and stuff like that. So it's been a long time, but Katie Joy was one of the first people that like kind of like, I'm not going to say exposed Gypsy, but like kind of was like questioning her. As in Fancy as well, and I've been on many panels with Fancy. But Katie Joy was on panel a couple of times, and actually even on her own lives, and she was Katie. If you can correct me, please do, of course. But like, weren't you friends with Christy and like
Yeah.
really tried to advocate for Gypsy? Like, weren't you like a really big advocate for Gypsy?
I was not I wouldn't call myself an advocate because that's not what my job is. But I mean, I was like, I wasn't like friend. They would
Like, I think you
they
were
would
like
have
so
called.
much into it, like you were friends, like almost like a friendly type relationship.
They would have called me a friend, but I would not say that I was their friend because looking back on it, it was just being used. You know, like
So
they're just.
I want to ask you the same question that like it got me and Fancy really close, but like I want to ask you the same question, like, and I feel like like this goes to the public because you're so close to the case, and Fancy was too, and she understood this question. Let me ask you this, like, what made you, because you were so close to the case and you were friends with the family, and that's okay because everybody that was close to this case, like at one
Okay,
point
we're
they
getting
advocated for Gypsy.
we're so derailed right now.
Okay, I'm sorry, but like when you started like seeing like things that weren't correct with Gypsy, like that, like you were disrailed from social media almost because a lot of people were advocating towards her, and now I think a lot of people are not. Again, with the Bree thing, this happened recently, and I don't
Yeah, I
think a lot
think
of
like what's confusing people right now is you just chopped. Like I had a couple people on and they dropped, and like I'm not trying to be rude, but like
no,
we
absolutely
weren't
not.
talking about the case. We were talking about what was going on with Bree, because of her arrest.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you about because I was on a panel earlier, and that have been like really, that's on like the truth train, if you know what I mean. You know, like with the Becca scoops and everything, and they're like, "Well, what's going on?" Like, well, a lot of people don't know what's actually going on. So, can you like?
I
Bree got out. Bree got out. Like she's on bail or something. Like
yeah,
I guess.
yes,
And
she's
and then there was something about the tags of her license plates that were switched. I don't know what that was
yeah,
about.
yeah.
And then there was something else, like Katie Joy, like again, like I joined your live like 20 minutes ago. Like there was something else that was like she like what was, again, like a lot of people don't even really know, like Brie like keeps this under wraps so hardcore.
Okay, sorry. I'm not. Yeah. So I don't normally do that, and I'm sorry. But that was like an incoherent conversation, and I was just trying to stay on track. Literally, no one's engaging in the chat, and we're not even talking about what was being talked about. So it's, yeah, it's okay. Like, I just need to like keep my chat happy, and that's going way off topic. Like, not talking about Charlie Kirk, not talking about the Duggars, not talking about what happened with Christy like a year ago. Right now, we were talking about Bree. So, and now I lost. Yeah, she's been charged with a felony. And I was like telling Alana and Mimi when they were up here that I was just listening to Bree in lives with Gypsy, and she sounded like she was like kissing Gypsy's butt. Like it was really weird. Like Gypsy was like defending the fact that her book is inaccurate, but she was like blaming the writers, but she's supposed to be the author too. And she was like blaming them for like putting out a book that wasn't like accurate. And then she was getting yelled at by the people. And then Bree was literally calling Gypsy a victim of society. I was like, what is going on here? What is this? Like, how is it possible? And that, like, we need to be better for victims, and we need to stop putting victims in the limelight, and like victims need to be like advocated for, and we need to stop, pushing them. And like, she was saying this all to Gypsy, but I have literal text messages from me to Bree from last year of me telling this to her, like, this shouldn't be out in the public. And she's like, Gypsy should do whatever she wants. And yeah, this is like a horrible time for Bree to get caught, because there's such a spotlight on Gypsy right now because of these videos coming out. And I said earlier in a video that like Gypsy was able to hide and lie because all of these videos were talked about in reports, but no one could actually physically see what she was saying. And it's one thing for her to say, I broke up with him after he said this to me, but then you see that there's like 3 videos of her talking about this with him. And then Bree's defending it, saying, Nick is making her do this. Nobody's making her do anything. Nobody makes anyone do anything. Period. Like, this is some rando you met on the internet. And I've said since day one that Brianna Heinz is the new Nicholas Godejohn. She basically gets her followers and her boyfriends and her significant others and her friends like so manipulated that they will literally do anything for her. And Gypsy has a terrible track record of picking people that are unstable. She attracts other people who are like her or worse, and she exploits them. And I told Christy and them last year that Bree is going to ultimately be their demise because she's unstable. I was concerned she was using rugs. And I said that she's a bad look for them. But that's exactly who they wanted to be associated with, right? So if that's who you want to associate with, that's who you are. Right? If that's who you associate with, that's who you are. You don't just accidentally start being friends with people that are rug users. That's who you are. You surround yourself around people that are like you. If you don't want to walk the straight and narrow, you're going to find other people that don't walk the straight and narrow. You're going to find friends that will tell you how to lie to your parole officer, which is what Bree did. I mean, Bree was on tape when she didn't know she was live, telling Gypsy she should lie to her parole officer. She's surrounding herself with people that are not good because she's not good. You don't fall in love with a man in prison who has a history of snow and H use, who's never held a 9-to-5 job, who's only ever worked as a bartender, has been in and out of rehab, has stolen from his parents, has blown up relationships because of addiction, and then blow up your marriage for him, get pregnant with him the first weekend you have together, right? I mean, that was totally planned by her. She intentionally went off her birth control. She wanted to get pregnant. She told Ken she was on birth control. None of that happened by accident. Oh. Ray should come up. So now, like, how many times are you going to have friends around you that are, like, doing stuff? And then this is supposed to be your best friend, and you're telling it, you're hi, Ray.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Isn't this amazing?
I think it's insane.
Have you gone public about your story yet?
Like about all the stuff that like my DMs and stuff? No,
Yeah.
I haven't gone over anything. I think the only thing I went over was like a teen mom thing. When she like quickly deleted like a teen mom because she was worried about how she was gonna look.
Oh.
But no, I haven't gone over everything. I actually, when she like temporarily deleted her Instagram, I was like, crap, because I didn't screen record the messages, and so they were all gone. But luckily, she can't help herself, and so she was like posting for Christmas, so I was able to go back and record everything just in case.
So Gypsy used to contact her. Is it Ray?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Ray. So she used to contact Ray, and she would like send her text messages of like fighting between Ken and Ryan.
Yeah.
And she would do it just to see if Ray would post it for her. Like out of the blue, just like drop a bunch of text messages and be like, girl, the drama's on today.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, the tea is hot today.
And like, you would see Ryan and Ken calling each other names.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Throwing out accusations. And Ken would tell Ryan that he had a limp D, and then Ryan would call Ken gay, because that's what Gypsy tells Ryan. She tells Ryan that Ken is gay, and then she tells Ken that Ryan's D doesn't work, because that's how she emasculates the men she's with.
Yeah. And then she'd also sent me photos of, she had sent me photos of Ken's ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
She'd sent me like her social media, and like she never explicitly, like she never word for word was like, oh, I want you to share this, but it was almost like that was what she was hinting at. I was like, yeah, well, good luck with that one.
Yeah, so people are always like, why does Gypsy do this? Because she wants attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But for the longest time, I didn't tell you how to think about her. I just said, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and that's true. Like for the longest time, because I was just like, I think I was trying to figure it out on my own, and I'm just glad like that you were not someone that was just like, no, you need to think this way. Like, this is how you were just kind of, when I said like, I just don't want to feel any pressure. You were like, okay, like no problem. Do you, when you're ready. And girl, have I seen the light.
Like, that's how I am with everything, though. Like, I know how their manipulation train works. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you're in it, nothing that I would say to you would matter.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not my place to be like, no, but this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
Because if you have a sense, you'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. Like, that's one thing that I can say, like, I appreciate, because like I said, you didn't make me feel forced to pick a side. It was kind of just like, okay, like, in a sense, you were kind of like, I just want you to be careful, but, you're going to do your own thing.
When you sent me that stuff, I just didn't want you to get caught in the middle of it. That was more like, don't let her play games with you. Like, right. That was my only thing, was like, because she would do that to me, and I just didn't want you to get hurt, or get your credibility shot because of it. Right. So that was just me trying to creator to creator, just looking out for you. Just be be careful.
Yeah, no, and I honestly, I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate it. So,
because some people, they're I always, like, when I was really early in content creation, people would reach out and I wouldn't really check motive, you know? And people, especially like reality TV people, love to take advantage. You know, because you get the teen mom people in your inbox.
Yeah.
And you know how those girls are. Like,
Yeah.
they love to get you on their side until something happens to them.
Right. Yeah. And I their way, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's when you kind of have to use, like, yeah, you want to take what they say with a grain of salt, but you also want to try to see the facts for yourself, use your own discernment and go from there. That's all you can do. I feel like when I very first started, I really wanted to just be able to build trust with people, without, you know, and I didn't want to get a story and feel like that person was being judged, you know?
Yeah.
But I also feel like during that time, it was hard for me to understand the difference between getting the story and trying not to become a friend. Like I've learned that those boundaries.
That's what I was talking about. Like, someone up here was like, well, weren't you their friend? And I was like, see, I met them really when I was really early in my content creation. It was 2018, right?
Yeah.
And so that was really before I had boundaries with sources.
Yeah.
And so now, like, if you're a source, you're a source. I'm not your friend, you know? If I'm on your side, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, it's like if I cover like stuff with like the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni stuff, like not everything that like the Wayfair team does on Justin's side is perfect. And so it's like, I can't always be like, everything's, you know, Blake's a freaking liar, but like, you know, I have to be objective.
Right.
Like,
right.
There are mistakes that get made. There's stuff that aren't solid on both sides. So it's like, you have to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not always going to be on the side that you prefer, but yeah, you're right. It has to be fair regardless. That's the part.
There's stuff that I see the publicists do on Justin's side, and I'm like, who are these people? And why are you doing this? This is stupid. Why do you create websites of people? That's the dumbest thing. What is this, 1995? Like,
websites.
Yeah. Like these PR people that create these hit websites about people.
Really?
It's like, they look like they're Scientologists. Like, it reminds me of Scientology. You know how like Scientology makes websites about like Leah Remini and like they're the suppressive people? Like, that's what some of these PR companies are doing for celebrities. They like make websites about people they don't like.
Oh. I didn't know that people were doing that. That's weird.
I know, it's stupid. Like, why would you do that? That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, and who that's weird. It's just, and they're doing this about content creators too?
No, I mean, they do this to like, so everyone in Hollywood is so bound up by NDAs, right? So everyone's so afraid to talk about anything without getting blacklisted. So they do these anonymous websites. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, okay. So they're almost like Reddit, except okay,
Yeah.
got it. That's so weird.
It is.
Oh well, if people hate me, they hate me. What am I gonna do?
Someone should put an anonymous website about Gypsy Blanchard.
And then, well, I feel like people I did hear that she had like what was weird, it was like a fan page for her on Facebook, but she got it taken down.
She got a page well, no, that wasn't a fan page. It was not a fan page.
Oh, I thought it was
that
a
was
fan page.
One of I think that was Alana's page.
Oh, really?
And it was a huge group. It had like 80,000 people in it.
Wow.
But it had like the crime scene photos in it.
Oh, that's probably why she was able to get it taken.
Yeah. Yep. And they had graphic images of the hoo-ha of Dee Dee.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, no bueno. Take that.
So there's just some.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. It's just a mess. I feel like it's getting messier. I feel like I have told people from the beginning, especially when it came to Bree, like, I remember when Gypsy was still on parole, and I told Gypsy, like, dude, you need to be careful, you know? And I don't know, there was just something about her. Even when I was trying to be friendly with Bree,
I told Christy she was a stage 5 clinger. Like, I was like, I don't know what you're getting from this girl.
yeah.
But she's not it.
No.
I said,
no, she's not.
She's embarrassing you guys.
Yeah,
And,
she's
like,
making them out, she's making them out to look worse than they already do.
Yeah.
Gypsy gave her
Why did I cancel? I didn't have an interview with
no, I did.
Oh.
I think they're asking me. Well, I canceled my interview with Bree because I received a lot of like hate messages, like just very nasty messages, and I was on vacation with my spouse, so I was like, I think that I'm just going to not post it, and I put it on pause. I never said like I wasn't going to post it. Had just put it on pause. And then Bree got upset because I put it on pause. And then Gypsy messaged me saying that I was allowing other people to win by not posting it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm already someone that doesn't like people telling me what to do, and I'm already dealing with people sending me nasty messages. I don't need you guys especially, to tell me what to do.
That's when they start pressuring you too, is as soon as you start to like figure it out, then they start like hardcore press.
Well, then I said, forget it then. I'm not posting anything.
And
nothing's going up.
What's ironic is that Gypsy has like, hey Gypsy, since you're watching, because I know you watch me, because you, Christy, or Bree, or someone is watching me right now. I have been in communication with Ray since like right after you got out. She was sending me what you were sending her. So I've been knowing like what you've been doing. She's never been on your side. Like,
yeah,
that's how stupid Gypsy is. She thinks that if she can get someone on her side, she can like sweet talk them. And she thinks that people just want to do like, she doesn't really care. She just wants to use creators to like inflict pain on the people that she's mad at.
Yeah. And when messaging Gypsy, like you could tell Gypsy, and talking to Gypsy, like Gypsy never gives any like sustenance,
Nothing.
When you're having a conversation with someone, it's kind of back and forth. Oh, how are you?
She'll never ask about you ever.
Ever. She will never ask about you. She doesn't care. If she does ask, it is not because she genuinely cares or she thought of you. It is because she needs something from you.
Why else would she spend her entire life dedicated to her case and talking to people about her case? Like, normal people don't spend their lives focusing on what other people are saying about them.
Yeah.
But she lives in a world where that's all she cares about.
Herself. Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. And, Perez brought up a pretty good point, because he goes, Gypsy doesn't hate this. Gypsy doesn't hate that all this case is coming back up and the videos and all that stuff.
She loves
it. Yeah. She loves it. She thrives on it. And he wasn't wrong in saying that. This is exactly what Gypsy lives for, which is attention. So she's getting exactly what she wants. But I think that we would be doing the public a disservice if we didn't reach at least one person to say, hey, this is what's going on. And maybe you were a Gypsy stan at one point, and maybe you were unaware of this before, but you should be aware of this now. Now, how you choose to take that is on you, but.
And she was able to like get ahead of narratives, right?
Yeah.
She would consistently bring up that stuff about Nick, saying that, because why would she just willingly offer that to people? Well, for her, it's because she knows there's evidence of her saying it, so she wants to put it on him.
Right. I brought up this was the messages. That's right. I was bringing up my, the messages between Gypsy and I. When she had told me in July of last year, can't believe it's been a year already. July of last year, It was the messages between Ryan and Ken. And that's when she said, girl, the tea is piping hot.
Yeah.
Just so, I'm going to show you guys, just so that you guys aren't like, you're probably just talking and we can't even see you're lying. Okay, so
Let's see if I can make you bigger. Hold on.
I can flip it.
Hold on. How do I change this so that I can make you bigger?
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So just so that people know, like, that I'm not making this up, if I go to search, and I don't want to share my search because I'm on my personal, but if I go to Gypsy and I click on her name there, okay, so you see this is her page. If I click, it's right there. Those are the messages. So just so you guys know, these are all it. So just
so she was like
making it up.
Basically, like, asking me like, what's up with this, I think is how it started. And I was like, so she's always talking to both of them. Always. She's usually talking to like 3 or 4 guys at the same time. And she keeps the guy
More than she does.
That's always how it is. She only responds when she has like some dirt to give you.
Yeah, look, this is when I got tired of typing. It was before Gypsy.
Yeah. And I posted about how they were fighting over the videos. Or I said, this was right after I cut ties with them. And I said, they just got into a fight because Gypsy scrolled through his phone and she dug through like 10,000 pictures and found 5 photos of his ex and like flipped out. And then Christy was like, well, you have your ex-husband on a show. How do you think he feels? And you're going to get mad about 5 pictures in a phone.
Right.
And like, grow up. And then Gypsy said to Ken, like, I don't think you're mature enough to be a dad. I don't know if I want to be with you. And they were like, you know, like on the verge of breaking up. And this is when she's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
And so then she's like, she has Bree go live and say, I'm lying. But then to you, she's running over to you and saying, no, that really did happen. So she's trying to say that, like, what I was literally told by them. By them. Like, I didn't make that story up. Like, they told me the story.
Yeah. But it is, it is not a joke. Like when you've said, like when plenty of people said that Gypsy is a pathological liar, like that's true. Was she ingrained initially to be a liar? Sure. But does she know the difference between right and wrong? Yes. Should she? I don't think, and I've said this plenty of times, like I believe that the parole officers were just lazy. They didn't want to deal with the paperwork and they didn't want to deal with her anymore. I think that they were just like, whatever, we want to be done with you.
Yeah.
But I do believe that she should have sought, like it should have been like mandatory psychiatrist. You have to pass these psych evals, or
Don't you or your spouse have backgrounds in corrections?
yeah,
Is it your spouse?
my spouse, yeah.
She's a correction officer?
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. That's what I remember. And you were like explaining like the parole stuff and like all this
Yeah.
stuff, the correction stuff. What does your spouse say about it?
Well, first of all, she really didn't even like me talking to Gypsy because she was like, she's like, I just want you to be careful. Like, this is still like a crazy person, you know?
Yeah.
But for her it's like normal, so it's just typical. She was an inmate. She's always going to have the mind of a crazy person. She's never going to be well. Like, are there some people that try to get away from ABUSIVE parents? Yeah, absolutely, right? Do they feel like they have no choice? Yeah, sure. But do they always have a choice? Not always, but sometimes. And Gypsy was one of those sometimes. Like, Gypsy had the option to leave. I mean, for crying out loud, in one of the videos, she stated that that Dee Dee was trying to kick her out of the house.
Right.
So it wasn't that she never had the option to leave. I mean, for the longest time, I mean, I have her book. I kept her book so I can highlight stuff in there, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I've read her book. I've listened to her previous lives, her podcast with Kale, all of these things that she has said where she has played out that she had no choice, but she was manipulating the mind that she had to stay. But it was clear as day in that video that she was sending to Nick that she had the choice to leave.
Well, I was reading like today, I was reading through some of the supplemental from that they got through the FOIA.
Mm-hmm.
And she told an inmate that she just wanted her mom out of the picture. And that it would be easier to like unalive her mom than it would be to go to authorities because she was part of the fraud.
Yeah.
So if she turned her mom in, she's basically turning herself in because she's also committing the fraud, because from the day she turned 18 to 24, or she was like, how many days? Like 3 weeks till 24, right? Before her mom died, because her mom died in June and her birthday's in July.
Yeah.
And like, she's involved in that as a criminal at that point. She's committing Social Security fraud. She's committing Medicaid fraud. She's committing, fraud against these charities. They're ripping people off. Like, something that was in the police reports, where they did forensics of the email addresses, right? And here's something that they've spent so much time talking about, that prescription pad, which, by the way, was expired. Gypsy was on a live with Bree and said, to my knowledge, no scripts were ever written from that. Of course they weren't. Of course they weren't. We know that.
And for people that are saying, like, she didn't know, she thought she was a teenager. No, she knew. She knew.
Yeah.
And she said that in the video too. She knew that she was in her 20s already.
Yeah.
She
knew her
absolutely
age
knew.
the whole time. She testified at Nick's trial that they did all of this she used the wheelchair because they knew that they would get more money. They would get more sympathy. They could get more money from charities. They could get more money from disability. Like, it was all a con.
Right.
And she didn't want to deal with her role in it. So she just wanted to get rid of her mom so that she could go on with her life. but she's still committing the fraud to this day.
Well, yeah, it's I guess what you'd call like a long con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hasn't stopped conning like your wife said.
Yep.
Man, I bet your wife has stories.
Yeah, she does, but she's also very. It's rare. I catch her on I'll catch her on a day where she just like is randomly talking about something, and I'm like, what? And she's just like, oh, I didn't tell you. I'm like, no, you never tell. You never tell me stuff.
But it's true, like how she said to you about like she's still like a scary, unhinged. Like that's what happened to me. When I realized they were lying to me, I was like, I'm around very dangerous people and they lied.
Yeah.
And that's what made me like, I need to extract myself because these people know things about my life. They have seen photos of me with my child. Like they lied and they played on all of our sympathy. They played on me because I have a disabled son and I am sympathetic to like children that go through medical issues, and like they used me for my knowledge of all of that. And then it's like, then you realize they're lying about all of it, and you're like, oh. And she's not reformed. She'll never be reformed. She doesn't care to be reformed. She can't be reformed.
Right. My question is, I know that Kale just spoke out on this.
Yeah.
Kel just spoke out on this, right? This whole thing that she did with the podcast with Gypsy. I'm wondering if Kim Kardashian will talk about this.
I don't know. Kale is known for her bad takes though, so I mean, she's not been someone that's known to have the best takes on stuff, right? Like, I think with Kale, though, there's also a sense of like, Kale comes from a troubled upbringing, right? Mm-hmm. I think, isn't Kale also bipolar? Hasn't she said that?
I don't know. I don't know if she said that. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know.
I think she has bipolar. But her mom was an addict, very absent. Kale has a child right out of in high school. She's got freaking 7 kids with 4.
Yeah.
4 men. Whatever. She can, I guess, I still don't believe she's raising all of them with everything she's doing. She's got nannies, I'm sure. But
yeah. I mean, she did say that, by the way. I don't know where like people thought like she did say like, yeah, I have, she never, so she said that she doesn't have live-in nannies. She said that she does have full-time, but not live-in.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. I think
she just saw like, I think Kale, it just comes from that, like, I was abused. I grew up and had a tough life, so she probably had some empathy for it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Gypsy does, is she plays on whatever your angle is. So with me, it's the mom of a child that has a kid with a disability.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you can help me by understanding what I went through. Like, what was really wild to me is I knew more about her medical stuff than she did.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
So we were talking about her feeding tube one day, and my son has a feeding tube, and I was like, did you guys have prescriptions for like G-tubes, like the buttons? So it's weird because it's called a feeding tube, but it's not really a feeding tube. It's just like a button that's like placed in the abdomen. I actually shared a photograph of what they look like.
I think I did see that before I saw you on live. I did see that.
So that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's after I had changed it.
Okay.
And so like it's discolored because that's just come out of his stomach. But so it's just a little button. And it sits like right on the abdomen wall, and you wouldn't even notice. And then it has a latch, or like you pull up the top of it and then you connect a tube to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you're fed through the tube into the button. So it's like a little port. And one of the ways that I was able to like figure out she was lying about shit was she was telling Dr. Phil that she had to have like 30, like her mom wanted her to have another surgery right before she was killed. And that's what she told Dr. Phil. And well, what happened the day before? She got her feeding tube changed. She got their button changed at the ER. They were at Cox Medical, and Dee Dee brought her to the ER to change her button. And when she said that, I said to Gypsy in a chat, or in a text message, I was like, it's not surgery to have your button changed. It takes 2 minutes. It literally can be done at home. Like, I'll show you what it looks like when you get it in the package. Like, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
So,
sorry, can you?
Huh? Do you want me to make it bigger?
No, would you be able to explain it? Because I don't.
Yeah. Well, so let me see if there's another picture. Hold up. That has a sticker. Is it right? I had one where I had it circled. Is that it? No, that's what the feeding tube bag looks like. Okay, that's more clear. So if you look at the top, there's like that little tiny button, if you see it toward at the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a syringe right there with a tip, right? Uh-huh. And so the syringe is how you put water in the button. So it's super, super simple. So that's a catheter tip syringe, right? Okay. And so when it's in your body, water is how it's a balloon. And so when it's in your body, it's inflated like that. And so you place it with lube and it slides right into a stoma. And then you put the catheter syringe in, you inflate it with 5 mils of water, and then you pull out the syringe, and then it's just secure, and it's like anchored with the button going directly into the stomach. And so in order for them to get this, to put the, to get the stomach lining up to the abdomen wall, they do an endoscope when they place it, and they inflate the stomach lining so that it like bulges to they stretch the stomach lining out to next to the abdomen wall. And then they use an endoscope, and then they do an incision, and then they place it, and then they put a catheter, like tube with a balloon, for about a month to dilate the stoma. But then once that heals, you just use these tiny little buttons.
And this is what Gypsy had.
Yes.
Okay. And so, okay, now I understand. So I understand what you're saying. So what you were saying is that you knew more about Gypsy's medical history than she did.
Yes.
Okay. So how did those tie in?
So when we were talking about the feeding tube, she talked about stuff that didn't make any sense. Like, she said that they would never have spares like this at home, which is untrue. So when you are a patient with a G tube, it's going to be either managed by your GI doctor or like a pediatrician once the GI stuff is over. Because generally, once you get the tube placed, GI kind of exits the picture because they're like, we figured out what the problem is. It can be taken care of by a primary doctor. With my son, it's his complex care doctor that manages it, who's like it's a different than a pediatrician. They deal with all like the complex issues. Uh-huh. So you have to have someone that prescribes the formula. So you need a nutritionist to prescribe the formula, which goes through a durable medical company, and it's a prescription that comes to your home. And it's different than using a pharmacy. It's a pharmacy for medical equipment.
Okay.
And so you have to order through your medical, it's a durable medical equipment company. And so that's how that works. And so I said to her, like, you didn't have these at home? No, we didn't have those at home. What? Her mom took her to the ER every 6 months to change it, which is completely outside of the scope of like how you're supposed to manage a G-tube. You're supposed to change it every 2 months.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask, is that normal? Is it normal to go to the ER or
No. No, because like, see how little that is?
Mhm.
Like, so let me see. If you see this, do you see that little KR, that little packet of like, looks like,
Yeah.
like
the jelly?
the jelly.
Mhm.
So you put the lube on so to pull out when it's on the abdomen, you just stick the syringe into the side of it and you pull the water out and it just pops right out. And it might make like a little tiny fart noise as the air comes out.
Uh-huh.
And then to place the new one in, you just put the tip of it into the lube and it slides right in. It takes 2 seconds. So that you cover the tip in lube, it slides right in. That's already been inflated, so it doesn't exactly look like that. That's coming out. And then you put the water back in and then it's in.
Okay.
It's not normal to go to the ER. My belief is that there's medical records from 2012 when she was at the doctor for teeth getting extracted.
Uh-huh.
And in 2012, it said 100% of her food is by mouth. So she just had the button at that point, more than likely because she had a Nissen funduplication, which is a surgery where they wrap a part of your esophagus around your stomach lining to stop acid reflux.
Okay.
And so a lot of patients that have the Nissen surgery end up with a button for venting because they can't burp. And so a lot of people that have the Nissen just have a button. They're not tube fed, but the button is there to help them vomit if they need to vomit and burp
That's interesting.
to get rid of the air.
Okay.
And so Gypsy had the Nissen funduplication when she was like, I don't know, 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
And so my guess is that they stopped using it for nutrition and they were only using it if she needed to burp. But if you've watched Gypsy try to drink
Mm-hmm.
and you see her, like, she gags a lot,
Let me see.
like she'll always be like, and she takes really, really small sips and stuff. Like, I still don't think that she can burp very well because of that. And I think if the button were still there, it would have relieved her gas.
I feel like, okay, I saw on something, I think it was when she made her prison drink. She tried some of it. I'm fast forwarding it right now. So.
Going to the ER was not about getting caught up. It was because she didn't have a doctor anymore managing the button. So what happens is if you stop using the button for oral intake or for food, there's no one prescribing formula. And so she's not using her durable medical equipment company to sell it. But what I was telling you is that it's not surgery in the ER either. It's just, it takes 2 seconds to change it. But what I was going to say is that they did like a forensic search of like her email addresses, mm-hmm. and Dee Dee was selling the medical equipment. She was selling feeding tube extensions on eBay, and she was selling diabetic test strips. So they were selling the stuff they were getting from insurance. So it was just another part of the fraud scheme. So what Gypsy had the button, and then they found attached eBay accounts where Claudine Didi was selling what they were getting from insurance on eBay.
That's crazy. I'm just like, oh, that's crazy. These people are insane. I was watching the video where she made of her like prison drink. I saw where she like, so she did like a sip and then like licked her lips and then did like and then she like cut it. She cut off the video.
Yeah.
Okay. So that made sense what you said. So okay.
She has a high palate because of her the reason why her teeth are all messed up is because her palate's high because of her chromosomal deletion. And even though she says she doesn't look like she has a genetic disorder, her face looks exactly like other people that have the exact same disorder.
I did look that up a long while ago. Like she has like some similarity.
Her eyes are closely inset and small, and like she has a large forehead. She had a bulbous nose before she had her nose job, a small jawline, and then a high palate, which caused teeth crowding. And it also causes her to stick her tongue out all the time.
Uh-huh.
Because of the palate being so high. And yeah, like that licking thing is not because of salivary glands. It's because of her high palate.
Oh. As I'm licking my lips now.
No, but you don't stick your tongue out like a snake.
That's interesting. Well, I'm curious to know, like, obviously, you know, like you knew a lot about the case. You knew a lot about her and Christy on the depth of like more like inside information, right? Like when you were talking to them and stuff. What were your thoughts like when these videos surfaced?
I mean, like I had read the police reports where they had documented some of them, so I kind of knew what was in there. Mm-hmm. But it was for sure shocking.
Did they share any of the documents with you?
No. I mean, so when Fancy went public with the genetic disorder in January of 2024, Christy called me panicking. And she was like, she says that she's got a microdeletion and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you guys have said forever that she has a chromosome issue. Mm-hmm. And like, well, we just said that Didi lied about that. And like, it's always been in the medical records that she has this, but their story that they sold to the public was that Didi lied about everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, she didn't. And so I was on the phone with them for 4 fucking hours, like on January 4th, 2024, days after she's released. And they're like trying to prepare for the fallout of this coming out. Uh-huh. Because they know it's not good. And then they have to come up with a plan of how to spin it. And that's when they come up with, well, she just had a blueprint and looked at what the symptoms were and decided that Gypsy had all of those symptoms. But the problem was that the first documented cases of this specific disorder didn't happen until Gypsy was like almost an adult. Mm-hmm. And so Didi didn't have any sort of documented roadmap to use to know what was going to happen. Kim, we've been talking about what's been going on with Bree.
Yeah, I'm down.
So, like, you don't need to direct anyone. Like, we already had her charges up here. But yeah, she was arrested for math.
And then changing plates.
Changing plates. She had somebody else's license plates on her car.
No
She didn't have
insurance.
no insurance, and her tail lights were out. And my guess is they ran the plates on a car, thought she had a stolen car. And then it's like, oh no, this is your car. You're just using someone else's registration, which is illegal. And then when you have probable cause that she's driving a stolen car, they can search just about anything.
Yeah. I like the whole, the schmeth was in someone else's purse. I think that
That's lies.
yeah, that's crazy.
Your wife works in corrections. It's always somebody else's. Like, how many prisoners actually admit?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not surprised at her answer. Like, I'm not surprised at her answer. It doesn't shock me. Like, I'm not surprised that she's trying to blame somebody else, for her doing. Definitely not surprised at all. I am not shocked based off of her record, her husband's record. Like, none of these things shock me or surprise me,
Yeah.
Anything, it just coincides with the first time when I had heard, because I was like, look, I'm not going to judge Bree. I don't know Bree, and this was when the video came out that Bree told Gypsy to lie to her PO.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when you and I started talking. Because, yeah.
Because I was like, no, that's not right. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then that's when I had mentioned, like, that's when I had mentioned that my wife, worked at the prison, because I was like, this is wrong. Like, what are you doing? Like, what you're doing is crazy. And if you listen to this person, she's going to ruin your life.
And like, this is like, so I was like inside / like sort of friends, but not really friends with them. So they would tell me all kinds of stuff, which I always thought was like highly inappropriate, because I thought, why are you talking so much crap about your stepdaughter, kind of thing, to a stranger on the internet? Because I think about like my own son, and I'm not going to run my mouth about his dirty secrets to people. It just seems so inappropriate.
Yeah.
And then that's when I realized that Christy just cannot stand her, so she wants it to get out. But she runs interference and tries to protect her reputation the same way that Dee Dee did, right? Because Gypsy says a lot in those videos that she's like a 13-year-old. It's really true, though. She's literally got the maturity of probably a 13 or 14-year-old.
I don't know.
She's like intellectually smart, but maturity-wise and like impulse control, she has none.
Right. I feel like somebody said something and it drew something to me. I feel like Gypsy is very good. Gypsy is very good at conning people.
Yes.
Conning people when it comes to, like you said, intellectually, she's got it, right? She's not dumb. I think that people think like Gypsy is like not all there. No, Gypsy is not a dummy. Gypsy knows exactly what she's doing. She is a true criminal.
She is 100% a criminal. She's very street smart.
Yeah, the way to easily say it is, criminals know exactly the kind of person that you are. They could read you quick, like a book.
Yeah, she's a sociopath.
Yeah, she knows exactly how to read you, and she knows how to play you. So,
what she does is she reads you and she mirrors you back. She's like a chameleon. So she says, she starts talking like whoever she's talking to.
Right.
So if you are extremely intellectual and you want to talk about religion, she's going to be all about religion. if you are into vampires like Nick, she's going to be all about vampires. You know, it's whatever you're saying. She's that too. She has no personality of her own. And I noticed that her personality would change based on who she was surrounded herself with. And she calls it being complicit, but it's not being complicit. It's being a chameleon.
Right. Yeah. I mean, see, the thing is, like, with me, I never really gave her much about me. So she really didn't. That's why there was no depth. Like, when we had conversations, it was mainly me talking, but there was really no depth because there was nothing for her to go based off of.
Right. Well, she only wants to talk about herself, though, anyway.
Well, yeah, you talk about anybody else, including yourself. You talk about yourself, she's not interested.
No. But when they got involved with Bree, I was like, what are you guys doing? Is this what you want? I was like, I sent them a message and I'm like, I'm not going to let you guys ruin my reputation because Gypsy can't stop lying.
Right.
I'm not going to let you guys take my career down and cover for your lies to protect her when she's a mess.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't like you having, okay, you wanted me to share these messages. I waited. I as soon as she sent me the messages for, as soon as she sent me the messages between Ken and Ryan, I waited because I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable posting these like right now.
I posted them like, didn't I post them like this summer? No. Yes. No. It was like this fall. Didn't I finally post them and you were like, you don't know where you got those?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know where you got those. Those weren't from me. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So,
I knew it had been long enough that it didn't matter.
well, I was, I just didn't want problems. I don't want problems. So I just was just like, whatever, like it is what it is. But, I'm now in a place where I've taken off my rose-colored glasses and I just see it for what it is. Bree's bad news. I think we all know it and we've all seen it. And Gypsy's trying to recreate her story. Gypsy's taking a break from social media so that she can revamp her story now that these videos have come out. She's
posting pictures of her daughter to deflect.
Right.
And she wrote in her book that her mom was the master of what? Deflection.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm sorry. I think I'm just kind of,
I told them last year that, like, I was like, if this is who you want representing you, if this is what you're about, I'm not about this.
Yeah.
You told me that she was going to be an advocate. You told me that this wasn't profiting. That was my big thing before they came out. I said, I will not support you if you come out and this is all about money.
Yeah.
Because that's not what this is about. I was like, you shouldn't be putting cameras in her face. Why is she in a contract? This is stupid.
She shouldn't have been. She shouldn't have been on TV. My thing is, when she came out, I was like, maybe she'll, maybe this poor girl, she'll live a quiet life. She'll bust a Casey Anthony and like disappear for over a decade, and then maybe eventually like pop up or something, but no, she just dove right in quickly, immediately, like no stops. But I've learned too that it never did stop. It didn't matter. As soon as she was in prison, she saw the cameras were there at every court hearing. Of course, it has been her life, her whole life.
I know when she said that so Christy was like, I'm under contract with Melissa Moore and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I was like, Christy told me she was under a book contract. And I was like, Christy, for what? What's your book about? That you didn't speak to them for 10 years? What's your book about?
Yeah.
That Rod left Dee Dee for you? That Rod got a 16-year-old pregnant and Dee Dee at the same time? Like, what's your story, Christy, really? Like, nobody gives a shit about your story, Christy.
No, and really, what does she have to say? I mean, it was clear as day. She was like in love with Ken. You know, it's clear as day. She and Rod don't have the best, marriage or relationship, and they were all in it for the money.
All of them.
I feel like the only person that just wanted to live her life in peace was her stepsister, Mia. I feel like that
And
girl,
her brother wants nothing to do with this.
yeah, it just seems like
And her sister Nicolette, that's Jill's daughter, that Rod got pregnant at the same time. Like, the thing is that like Rod like loves to talk about how he was still paying for Gypsy and he was sending all this money. Rod still had a court order until the day that Dee Dee died. He was in back child support.
Really?
Yes.
It's crazy.
So he acts like he was doing this out of goodwill. Like, no, there was still a court order. He was still in back child support.
Wow.
And they'll collect back child support until you're caught up, even if the kid is like 30.
Yeah, I've heard like even if you get like a settlement check for like insurance or whatever, like if you owe back child support, they'll take it.
Yeah. So he wasn't just sending her money out of good faith. I mean, his interviews with police are, I haven't seen her in over 10 years. You haven't seen your child in over 10 years. And now you're going to swoop in and act like dad of the year?
Yeah.
And the first thing that you're doing immediately is running to the press and trying to set up a way to make money off of it. And Dee Dee's family was trying to warn them about Rod and Christy being like, they're not there for the right reasons. Like, girl, they ditched you guys.
Yeah.
And now they're back?
Yeah, as much as I can see, okay, I've from what I've seen, parents, they maybe their parents, one of them ran away with a kid or whatever, but unless there was a court order keeping you from your child, there was no reason that you couldn't have seen them. There was no rhyme or reason that you didn't know of your child's medical history if it was this severe. You see your kid in a wheelchair and you're not like, let me see the paperwork.
He told police he had never gone to the doctor. He had never seen a medical record. He knew none of the doctors ever.
That's crazy.
He claimed he had insurance for Gypsy and they never used it and that she might still be on his insurance. No, he was required to have insurance through their divorce decree and to pay medical expenses. So Rod decided that Dee Dee made up everything just to get back at him. He made up a story that she made up the chromosome disorder to get back at him, to get him back with her, even though she has a verifiable chromosome deletion. That the biggest symptom for adults with this chromosome deletion is behavioral issues, like antisocial personality and a higher risk for schizophrenia. And sometimes I wonder, with all of her role playing, what world does she really live in? When she talks about her memories, I have this memory and I have that memory.
Yeah.
And she's so cunning and smart. She won't go to therapists that will actually do like the extensive psychotherapy tests to actually get a proper diagnosis. So she refuses like the neuropsychological psychiatric tests and just goes to telehealth therapists that will just give her a PTSD diagnosis.
And what do you think about Ken sticking around? I mean, I just think he's just riding her for the coattails until he can't use it anymore.
I think Ken's a drug addict. And I think Gypsy, you know how they say when someone's like a dry drunk? Have you ever heard that? Like when you're like a dry drunk where you're still like acting like you're an addict?
Like a functioning alcoholic?
No, like you're not using, but you're still acting like you're using. Like all of your behaviors are still the same.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, okay, I understand what you're saying.
Right? So Gypsy to me is a dry drunk. Like she was never sober during her parole. She was drunk. She was drinking like the whole time. I'm pretty sure she's using something because why else is she shaving off her head after CPS comes? Why did Ken shave his head suddenly after CPS comes? And by the way, CPS can take your pubes. They'll take whatever hair they want.
Wait, okay, why do you think that they shaved their heads?
They got drug tested.
Well, yeah, but if they get drug tested, they like cut like a little part or whatever, right?
Yeah, but like they shaved their heads. Like right after CPS came.
That is it.
But if they want to, they can take a hair off of your leg. They could take a hair off of your pube. They don't care.
Yeah. This is crazy. This is so crazy. I didn't even think about them shaving their...
I knew it immediately. Like, so I've had people call us because obviously of my job. You can get crazies that report you. I literally like was furious when I finally started having falling outs with them. I was like on the phone with Gypsy and I was like yelling at her and I was like, you don't get it, Gypsy. Like your case has led to moms like me being falsely accused.
Mm-hmm.
And your case, because of the obvious fraud that happened, obvious when you were an adult, like has fucked moms like me. And now moms are getting falsely accused all over the place. And the minute, like, just to be clear, like my son had open heart surgery and Christy got pictures of him when it happened. Like she fucking knew this happened. You can't fake open heart surgery.
Yeah.
And like the minute I turned on them and was like, I'm done with your lies, Gypsy and Christy told Bree I have Munchausen's by proxy.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
No, medical kidnapping is not common. Stop it. Medical kidnapping is not a thing. We're not talking about that. Squiggles, like, we're not doing this in the chat.
What is that?
We're not doing this. But when you have a child that has like complex issues, like my son had open heart surgery. You cannot fake that. Like, I'm sorry. The last time I checked, I can't like go into his heart and cause his valves to be abnormally formed from birth.
Yeah.
And so the minute I turned and was like, I can't support you guys anymore, Bree went live and said, I have Munchausen's by proxy and I faked everything. He doesn't have heart issues. He's never had brain surgery. He doesn't need a feeding tube. I'm starving him. Like, they basically accused me of what they said Dee Dee did to Gypsy. And then I was like, and this is how I know you're lying about Dee Dee.
Yeah. Right.
Because if you're going to now accuse me of that, why should I believe that anything you're saying about Dee Dee?
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to prove yourself either. I mean, you're not on TV, and that's yours and your child's business. That's you shouldn't have to prove that. That's crazy.
And how long were you using the information I had about medical issues for children in the complex care of, like, they would ask me questions about stuff all the time because they knew nothing. Like, Rod and Christy want to live in denial. They don't want to accept that anything is wrong with Gypsy.
Do you think that they're afraid of Gypsy? Do you think that they're afraid of Gypsy the way Dee Dee was afraid of Gypsy?
Everyone's afraid of Gypsy.
That's crazy.
Gypsy's like a loose cannon.
But why is everyone so afraid of Gypsy?
Because she's like a walking bulldozer that loves to create conflict and like triangulate people and make false allegations. But Christy and Rod are also like, Rod's like a raging narcissist. Mm-hmm. So like, Dee Dee didn't lie about Rod. Like, Rod's like, oh, she accused me of this and that. Rod had a charge where he was charged with aggravated battery. He was facing 8 years in prison when Gypsy was 9.
That's crazy.
And 8 years old. He had been with Christy since like 92 or 93, hadn't married her until he caught the charge, and Christy was a witness. Well, if you marry your witness, they can't testify against you. You can't force spouses to testify against you.
Yeah.
And then the guy, it gets dropped down to simple battery. So he goes from a 2nd-degree felony where he literally like mangled someone to simple battery. But this was happening when Gypsy was a child, and he was on rugs. He was on snow. He was drinking. He was using acid. Like, he was unstable and extremely volatile.
Sorry. Is this in the are there like in the police report or something? All of this stuff?
Like, Rod has talked about how he was a wild child, you know? Mm-hmm. But there are court records from like that arrest. It was from 1998. She was 91, so she was 7 years old, 8 years old. So Dee Dee was rightfully scared of him. You know, and like, sure, she made up some stories about him, but Rod just likes to put it all on Dee Dee, like she was the liar. Like, but Rod, what were you doing?
Yeah. I mean, obviously Rod wasn't a good parental figure himself. He was going around sleeping with a bunch of people, like doing anything, acting.
Yeah.
You know, chaotic.
And Gypsy's mom didn't really start stealing money until Rod wasn't paying child support.
That's when she started stealing money?
Yeah. Like, all of her theft stuff and like bad checks were like Walmart, $38.
I'll have to look into this more. I haven't really.
He was held in contempt. Like, he almost went to jail for not paying child support.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. So many people, they get their licenses taken away.
He was facing 2 years in prison.
Yeah,
They
I
had
believe
a criminal contempt. They had a criminal non-support case against him. But he says, Christy and Rod framed that as, oh, she would just go to trial every time we would get into a fight. The cases were not brought by Dee Dee. They were brought by the state. It's like, if you're compliant, you can just have part of your paycheck go directly to the state. So when you're paid by your employer pays your taxes, and then they also send your whatever amount of money, child support, on your behalf directly to the state. So they just garnish your wages.
Right.
Right? Or you can set up direct deposit with the state, and they'll just pull it from your bank account every 2 weeks. Or
Right.
whatever.
So, I mean, sorry, I should have clarified. So I understand, like, the way that child support works for the person that owes it. But what happens if, I don't know, some people have said that they've had, like, the government, maybe that's just like a myth.
So Rob's was garnished.
His were garnished from his checks.
Yes. But he wasn't paying, and he was like avoiding he wasn't telling them his address.
Mm-hmm.
And so they couldn't find him. And so then like Dee Dee would have to go to like the court and get things modified because he was so far behind. There was at one point in time, he was $7,000 behind in child support, and he was $6,000 behind in medical.
I wonder if his job, like, he was trying to get paid like under the table. That way he wouldn't.
It was before he had his captain's license, so I don't know. He was on rugs, and he didn't want to pay. And his child support wasn't even that much. It was only $250 a month.
It's nothing.
And so because Dee Dee ends up on welfare, the state gets pissed, right? Because Dad, you're supposed to be paying, and Mom's getting welfare when the money should be coming from you. So the moms end up on cash assistance, and then the state goes after the dad.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant cash assistance. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I feel like there's like a something that they're on, and I can't figure out the name of it. Cash assistance. Thank you. Well, Katie, I am so sorry, but I'm going to let you go because I have to get up very early tomorrow.
No, you're fine. This was fun.
Yeah, I hope you guys have all good night, and we'll see what happens with Bree.
I know, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm interested to see how her case will play out. But thanks for having me, and
go follow her if you haven't followed her. Go check her out.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right. Yeah. They're bananas. You liked her? Yeah, isn't she sweet? I love Ray. She does like a lot of reality TV stuff and like just pops up. She's the sweetest. Oh wait, you guys can't see that way. Hold up. I try to do it so you can see the chat. So there we go. Bree was arrested for... You've been following Ray because his Teen Mom. Yeah. Yeah, we've been like creator friends for a couple years. I have like a good handful of different creators that I would call myself like creator friendly with. It's hard to be friends with creators, but
she's sweet. I'm just like, it's very ironic though that like, oh, this pic just happened to be like in my photos because of a recent post I made. It's not like a dig at Kale, so don't get all like pissed off at me for like using a photo. It just happened to be a photo I'm using. Yeah, I don't talk about Teen Mom anymore. Let me see. No, I wanted to make it so you guys can see the panel better, so you can see your chat. There we go. There you go. I don't have much of a Bree story other than Bree was arrested for schmeth. Those are her charges. She was arrested on the 26th with under 28 grams. Bree claims that it was somebody else's purse in her car, but Bree was driving a car with somebody else's license plate. She didn't have insurance and her taillight was broken. And I'm pretty sure she got pulled over because it looked like she might be driving a stolen car. And when they searched her, she was in possession of schmeth. And she's blaming a family member for leaving a purse in her car, which sounds like bullcrap. Yes, this is Gypsy's friend that took over her page. Gypsy's friend who made a video for Aurora today. She wasn't driving a stolen car. She had someone else's license plate on her car. But how it works when a cop runs your plates and you're driving a car that are not attached. All license plates are attached to a car. And she was using someone else's plates on her car because she didn't register her car. Meaning her car was being driven illegally and she was using someone else's plates to drive her car. And she didn't have insurance. But they can just run the plates and it looks like it's a stolen car because those plates will not match the car she's driving. So if she's driving a plate for like, I don't know what kind of car she has, so I'm just saying like, if you're driving a plate for a Camry, Toyota Camry, but the plate happens to be on a Ford F-150, they're going to be like, well, that's a plate for a Camry, not for a Ford F-150. So then it can be like, okay, so whose car is that? What's the car? Is that a stolen car? And a lot of people that drive stolen cars use fake plates. And so people get pulled over for that. You can't use, like, all plates are registered to a specific car. Like, we have my husband has a Camry, and my car is a X7 BMW. It's just an SUV. So it would be like my husband getting pulled over with our BMW tags on it. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. That's stupid.
So is everyone done? Are we satisfied with the Bree news? Yeah, Bree is something else. You guys, I've been on this live for like 3 hours and I have 255 diamonds. If Gypsy thinks I'm doing this for money, I just want to tell you something. Gypsy, I have made 81 cents. 81 cents. 81 cents on 3 hours of being on TikTok. So if you think for a minute that I'm doing this for money, 81 cents. 255 diamonds, Gypsy. How did I get this account? What are you talking about? Who are you? She does not follow me. How do I get this account? This is my account. That's the stupidest question I've ever heard someone say. Like, how did I get this account? 81 cents, Gypsy. 81 cents, okay? 81 cents. Oh, 85 cents. Thank you. Thank you very much. 85 cents I've made. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gypsy. Yes, I'm doing this for the 85 cents that I've made, Gypsy. I have not met Ken in person. No, I have not. I've never met any of these people in person. All right, you guys, I have to go, but we'll be diving into this later. You have a good night, everyone. Thank you.